Hello and welcome to another Big Day 77 video. I am Jeremiah Spring and I'm here with myself to do the first and hopefully what is a long series of Feed Chad videos. Now, Feed Chad is a relatively unknown game written by these two people here, and it is, as they say, the only game where you feed the Republic of Chad. It is about facing the challenges, meeting the challenges that face Chad, like Boko Haram insurgency and the shrinking of Lake Chad, as well as various other important issues, and it is an extremely decent game. You get to play as one of 4 characters. You can choose Xi Jinping, Martin Van Buren, Charles de Gaulle, or James Scullin. Xi Jinping obviously represents China, Martin Van Buren the United States, Charles de Gaulle, very famous man, France. Now, James Scullin was the Australian Prime Minister in the 1930s, and he was quite inactive. He was quite ineffective in a lot of ways in regards to the Great Depression, so possibly not the man for the job, but we will see. Charles de Gaulle obviously played a crucial role in helping with France and building its constitutions, and fought in the Second World War. Martin Van Buren was Martin Van Buren. So I think today we'll play as Australia, because as we all know, Australia is a pretty good country. That's very, very simply. The game works very simply. You have to get this down, and yeah, you can deal with insurgents, which, as you can see, and a drought has occurred. That is a random event, and that is not great. Yep, so that has increased our malnutrition, which isn't good. So we'll probably have to do something about that. Build some infrastructure, I suppose. Probably fight some Boko Haram. We cannot afford that, so that's a bit of austerity. You do have to make sure that Boko Haram strength and insurgents are not they don't get too high, because then you lose, and losing is not the aim of the game here. Generally, you want to win. Now, civil unrest has occurred. That is a rather common event, unfortunately. I think this is a very well-designed game when it works. Sometimes it's a bit iffy, but yeah, I think it's a good game. I think that everyone should play it. Now, if you want to make it a bit easier, one thing you can also do is educate people, which increases, I think that increases the amount of money you earn, but I'm not entirely sure. And I should probably deal with Boko Haram strength. And I cannot afford this. I've dug myself into a hole here. But luckily, thankfully for me, I did educate people. So now each time I go implement austerity, instead of doing whatever it did before, it gives me like 4, which is very good, and it's just more effective in general. Now, the drought, as you can see, malnutrition has actually risen, and it's continuing to rise. This is not great, and it seems to be getting worse. Now, there is another way, which is the Build a Trans-Aqua project, which is virtually impossible. You might be able to do it as the US, because they get shipments. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Each country has its own advantages and disadvantages. Each one has its own power. Like here, education is cheaper and infrastructure deteriorates more slowly as Australia. As China, I think infrastructure is the cheapest to build. As France, it is cheaper to deal with insurgents, and as the United States, you get events that you're much more likely to get events that actually help you, which we've not seen any of. There's actually a decent chance I may lose this, because I just got 2 droughts in a row. What fun! And that's this isn't going well. This is like, okay, we're 4 minutes in. Okay, build some infrastructure. Hopefully that'll get everything down. And yeah, infrastructure's pretty good. Malnutrition is falling because the food can actually get to people. That's always good. Obviously, you can't eat books, but people are now joining Boko Haram, which is not fun. I don't even understand 100% why they are doing that. So, look at that. Back to where we started, more or less. Now, this is essentially turn-based, even if it may not immediately look like it, and we should be on track to finish it. Of course it is. There is something of an issue in this game with events. It is very common that you will get a lot. Sometimes you get like no events, and you just be able to speed through. I like this border around him, and I like this grey colour. Though to be honest, the blue is a bit, mid-2000s. It's not the most beautiful website in the world. Boko Haram has been defeated at the moment, so build some of that. Like, we have great infrastructure. We have like European, like Swiss levels of infrastructure here. Pretty much, I think it's just a matter of actually getting the turns done. I suspect. Oh my gosh. Obviously, civil unrest occurring increases Boko Haram strength, as well as decreasing money and infrastructure, and we have beaten malnutrition. There's no doubt about that. Chad has solved its food crisis, and you get this "congratulations, you won" screen. Though, one way this game could definitely be improved is if it was if the winning page and the losing page were actually complete, because I think the losing page is also a bit crap. So we'll do Martin Van Buren if we have time, which we might, which I think is the easiest one for a beginner. So if you're really starting Feed Chat, I think America is probably the best country, and you'll see why. So it'd be really ironic if I lost now. So if you I'll start with dealing with insurgents. A drought immediately occurs. Not fun. Two droughts. Now people can't eat money, so it's probably best we deal with insurgents and build some infrastructure. And here it is. This thing here, you have received a food shipment. That is really what separates America, because that pretty much negates a lot of the other stuff. It gives you an injection of it cuts malnutrition down. It's just generally quite a good thing. I mean, I don't know. It's a game. I don't know how it compares to IMF. I mean, IMF's quite good, a lot of fun, but it's different. We'll say that. This is aesthetically quite similar, I would say, and I think that it's better for it. The IMF training game like this is an extremely good-looking game. Obviously, it's not the best-looking game, but it is quite good. That being said, it is rather annoying when you have a single cent less left and your malnutrition is increasing. And we are quite low on infrastructure. I think that's really where we're lacking, though. I have to deal with insurgents. As you can see, though, infrastructure really falls quickly as the US, and that is in stark contrast to Australia. It really does not go down. It really does not decrease very much as Australia, especially when compared to the United States. Now, how long do we have? So we're really reaching the end here, and there is no save. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see if I can't wrap this up. And we've received a food shipment, and that might have just, yes, no. Obviously, this is not what we wanted. We're very close there. We have 1.4% malnourishment, and Chad has solved its food crisis as the United States. So the idea of the game is you play as an advisor. Link to the game will be in the description, and have fun feeding Chad.